What's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a quick
Hello.
live. Anybody that doesn't know, I'm Joseph. I go live in this group quite often. I think I did my
This is my
last.
page. Jules not sharing.
Okay, I know. I go live in the group quite often. Jules gonna do a watch party in the group for us. We just got our T-shirts in, so I think we started it like a couple months ago with the T-shirts, and the T-shirts are, you can get different colors, but I think mostly the ones that are on display are black and white, if anybody can see. It says Breaking the Chains,
Tell a little bit backstory about Breaking the Chains for people that don't know.
and on the back, it's in love and memory of my mom.
Yay!
She died a little bit before my birthday last year from complications from long-term drug use, but most importantly, she died clean. So that's what's most important to me. And when she got clean this last time,
Hey, Joel.
this was something she took serious. She wanted to get back into opening up her own recovery house and her own woman's house, and she wanted to call it Breaking the Chains. So that was the movement that she wanted to start. A little backstory: when she was younger, when I was a baby, she was really active in recovery in our town. I think she ran one of the recovery houses that they had at the time. She was also active in the meetings. She was a volunteer for the fire company for a little bit. And her longest job that she did, she worked at Great Oak. If anybody's familiar with Great Oak, she was the hotel manager for quite some time before she injured her back. So that's why we're here today. We're here because we got our T-shirts. Anybody wants to get a T-shirt, they can contact Jewel or go
Jules
place
gonna put the link in the comments.
Yes, the
We'll
link.
put the link in the comments.
The link will be in the comments. And we have options, obviously. If you guys don't want to have in love and memory of my mom on the back, that is absolutely fine. You can change it. If you lost somebody close to you in addiction, you can change the name. You can put a different name on there for a small fee. Also, you can do color change, or if you want to, if you just want to go with the Breaking the Chains on the front, you don't have to put anything on the back. You can remove the logo on the back completely. So there's plenty of options for you. I'm sure there's plenty of color options, but I just go with the classic black and white.
So we'll just put the link in the comments for anybody who would like to order a T-shirt. She also put the details of it, the pricing and stuff. So you can just click the link and just order your T-shirt if you want. And he said, like you said, you can change your name on the back, whatever you want to do.
And if anybody wants another T-shirt material, it's Gildan T-shirt material. It's nice. They're cut a little big, but I would order. I got extra large.
Can you see?
Yeah, they can see. I got extra large.
It says in loving memory of his mom. It's exciting. I got an extra small.
Yeah, I got an extra large, and it fits kind of big, but it's really tight on the arms and the shoulders. So I don't know. I mean, extra large is what I wear. I could probably fit a large, but I always buy extra large anyway. So just,
I love this.
but I'm sure it'll shrink up when you wash it and dry it.
I'm gonna buy another one.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested, they can help support us. Most importantly, all the money made from this, we do not profit from it. At the moment, all the money that we make from this goes to Restoring Hope in Women. That's the recovery organization that we try to assist because we don't have our own house yet. And that's what the goal that we're going to work towards when I come back to Maryland, when I move back to Maryland. At that point forward, every dollar we make is going to go towards us opening our own recovery house, because that's the goal. But right now we figure we could help a good organization in the meantime, and that's who we've been supporting ever since we started. We have an event coming up in the beginning of August. Jewel can drop the date. It's going to be at the Firehouse in Chestertown. I believe it's going to be at the same one it was last time, the one that's right across from 7-Eleven by the bridge as soon as you get into town. That's where we had it last time, and it was pretty nice. We raise money. We do you know, it's like a fundraiser. Miss Aretha comes out and cooks, and I'm gonna be a guest speaker there this time.
You can speak.
Yeah, which I'm kind of nervous. Jewel just, you know,
You're
signed me up for it.
You're gonna do great. You always speak. You speak on here all the time.
I know it's different in front of people. So I will be there. I will speak. I don't know what I'm gonna speak on. You know, small town. A lot of people already know the stories, so I don't have to get into them. I'll come up with something good though. I'm sure I will before it gets here. So we will be home for my brother's birthday. His birthday is the end of July 26th. So we will probably be home the 25th, and we're gonna stay through the event, and then we're gonna fly back to Texas. So I will be there. All things go smoothly. Nothing goes wrong with the kids. We will be there. And I'm really looking forward to it. And if you don't want a t-shirt, you don't need a t-shirt. You can still donate. If you want to donate to the Restoring Hope in Women, feel free. Like I said, 100% goes to that. So everything we make from the t-shirts, everything we make from the event, we made a lot. When we did March into Recovery,
4,000, I think.
we made close to $4,000. And anybody that's familiar with how that works, that could potentially get, I would estimate close to, 8 girls in for the first month. That would pay for their first month. Not to mention, it's, if you're running a nonprofit organization, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of things you gotta do. And most women that come in there, most addicts that come in, they walk in fresh out of jail or fresh out of rehab. They don't have a job yet. They don't have a start. And I would say to people, if people would say, well, why does this matter to me? It matters to you because it's your community.
Matter of fact, and if anybody that's watching this, if you or someone you know has been affected by addiction, come at me. Come at me if you or someone you know has been affected by addiction, just so that you can see how almost everybody's affected. Either it's you, either it's someone you love, someone you know, a friend, a family member, a child. Almost everybody has been affected by addiction. I can definitely come at me. No, Jewel. We have to see it later. All the comments that are coming in from the group, any watch parties that Jewel is hosting, those comments, you guys, thank you for putting your comments in. Keep interacting with the videos. We'll come back in and watch those later. We can't actually see those in live time, but we will go back and look at those comments.
Yes.
So just come at me if you've been affected by addiction, because just like he was about to say, it's not just a support us kind of thing just because his mom passed and this is kind of her dream and things like that. It's like everybody's affected by addiction. Everybody in some form has been affected by addiction. So it takes a community, it takes a community to really get the movement rolling, so everybody's affected. Everybody can kind of give to the cause. And that's kind of the idea.
Yeah. And the whole idea behind the movement, like when it started out, is it's like going purple. Everybody on the Eastern Shore was doing the purple thing, for the opiate epidemic, which I don't have a problem with drugs. I've always been an alcoholic. I've always been a drinker. I never messed with dope, pills, coke, crack, none of that shit. I've never had any issues with it, never even tried the shit. So, but the problem is, that is what's affecting our communities the most right now. That's what's hurting our communities the most right now. So that's why I'm active in it, and that's why I'm speaking out on it. And that's why I try to be at the forefront of this, because I think about the children. You might say, why me? But look around you and count how many people that pop pills or do dope or whatever they might do. And think about your children. Think about the horrors that could hit you in the future if you don't take a stand right now and try to do something to clean it up. Yeah. And the reason why we're trying to clean it up is because we're losing good people to this. There's people that are overdosing. There's people that are dying. There's people that are losing their children. There's people that are losing their quality of life. And I want to see a turnaround in my community, because you know, Kent County's not perfect, but when I was growing up, I enjoyed my community. I enjoyed my friends. I enjoyed the people I socialized with. I enjoyed the neighborhood style of our community. And later on in life, it was just, you know, it became about drinking and smoking, and everybody was doing that for a good time. But now it's escalated, and people are popping pills. And everybody that has common sense knows that if you fuck with pills long enough, you're taking a gamble. Most of the people I know that did heroin, they started out on prescription medication. They started out on pills. So just keep that in mind when you think that pills are a social drug, because they're not. They might start out social, but eventually you will be hooked, and eventually you will either lose your life or you will lose your quality of life. And that's what we're trying to heal. That's what we're trying to fix in our communities.
Be a part of the cause. Penny, I'm sorry to hear about your nephew. Penny said that she had to bury her 34-year-old nephew. Rachel, or what was that? Miss Sherry said, I'm trying to get my son to stay clean for himself. Yeah.
Exactly. I talk about that a lot in my videos. I'm not gonna get on a video run today and do a long, you know, meeting type video, but I just wanted to talk about the community because we're doing an event in our community. This goes to an organization. The money that we make from all this goes to an organization that is in our community. So if anybody wants to know how you can help by starting in your community. Get active in your community. Don't just sit around and want everything to change, but you don't do anything, or you don't have a hand in anything. The only hand you have in making a change is complaining. Complaining solves absolutely nothing. So sitting around and complaining is not going to get it done. And it's short-sighted to only do things for yourself and not to do things for your community, because there's always children involved. And there's always children that are going to come up in the same fucking lifestyle that we came up in.
I'll go back and pin it, Jewel.
So just think about it. Think about some of the things that you've seen growing up. You want your kids to see that? Think about some of the things that you got exposed to when you were growing up. Do you want your kids to be exposed to that? And you can't be with your kids 24/7. And don't think just because you don't use drugs that your kids won't use drugs, because I know a lot of people whose parents were straight A. They walked a straight line and their kids still became drug addicts. So you're being really short-sighted and ignorant if you think that it'll never happen to you. Because I didn't think that I would become an alcoholic just because I wanted to party with my friends, but I did.
And we did a video before about breaking the change, because we called this breaking the change, and that's pretty much the movement. What his mom had called it before she passed away. Is what she wanted to bring forth. So that's kind of what we're carrying out. And we did a video before about breaking the chain starts with you. So breaking the chains of all different kinds of things starts with you. So when we see things going on in our community, we're always waiting for someone else to do something about it. Like he said, we complain and we talk about it. We're aware of all the issues, but we do little ourselves to make any change. And it's like, well, my little self couldn't change this great big problem, but that's not true. You know, breaking the chain starts with you. Joe taking action on something, Jewel taking action on something, me taking action on something, you saying, wait, how can I be a part of this cause? And then you taking action on something and not waiting for other people to do it. Breaking a change starts with you stepping up, doing something different to put towards this new cause, you know, this movement. It always starts with you, not someone else, not the next generation. You know, it starts with you, and that's the idea behind breaking the chains. So that's what we got going on here. And
there's no measuring stick for a good deed.
Yes.
No matter how big or how small the good deed is, it's still a good deed, and it creates a ripple.
So good.
So we don't have to sit around and you know, play the cameraman in the neighborhood and be the ego guy and boast and brag about everything we do. And we don't have to think about, well, that's not going to do anything, because it does. Because if enough people do it, it does.
It does.
That's the ripple effect.
Collectively, we make movements.
You know, I see a lot of people that are educating themselves on things that are going on in the world, and it's trendy now for everybody to say they're woke, they're woke, they're woke. But knowing without doing, you're asleep. That's my opinion. Knowing without doing, you're asleep. information is useless if you don't do anything with it.
Absolutely.
And just saying it on Facebook or on the internet, like, you know, you're hip to all these conspiracy theories and all
Doesn't
these
matter.
things that are going on, it means
Doesn't matter.
absolutely nothing if you don't do anything about it. So if you're not going to do anything about it, then you probably shouldn't say anything at all. You know,
Once you become aware, you become accountable.
exactly. So, you know, once your eyes get open to things, you gotta take
Now
action.
you take action on it.
Yeah. And, you know, something else with this Facebook thing. So a lot of people use it for negativity, and that's fine. You know, ignorant, immature people. But so many more people have heightened their sense of awareness. There's so much more brotherhood. There's so much more sisterhood. There's so much more support. There's so much more positivity. Like, you know, I talked about back in the day when my grandfather was like doing meetings in his house. I did a video the other day and had like 1,000 views. So basically, if you think about it, I had a meeting with 1,000 people.
Yeah.
You ever been to an AA meeting or
That's
an NA
huge.
meeting with 1,000 people?
That's huge.
So it's like we have the power and we have access to so many good things. We just got to use it properly. And I've seen a change. You know, I try to look for the good in everything, and I've seen a change. You know, I've seen a lot of people from my community that I knew. We didn't have to necessarily be best friends or anything, but I knew them. And I love to see that they're using the world we live in now to better their lives. You know, I see people that got a lot of things going on that are chasing dreams and trying to better themselves. And I respect everybody's hustle, you know, for you to want to do something. Even if you fall short on your goal, the fact that you took a step out there and you tried something different, that gets a lot of respect from me, because it's easy to just, you know, tote the line and do the normal shit all the time. So I got a lot of respect for people that take a chance on themselves and try to do something different. I also got a lot of respect for people that I see that are trying to get more active in their communities. You know, when I lived in Salisbury, I volunteered at Halo for a little while, about 1.5 years, 2 years, something like that. And I didn't think anything of it, you know. I felt like it served a greater purpose for me to get that experience, because if I wanted to open my own recovery house, then I had to be privy on how to deal with certain people.
That first-hand experience.
And my mom was homeless for quite some time when she lived in Salisbury. My mom moved to Salisbury probably like 10 years ago. And she was homeless, living out there, you know, breaking into vacant apartments and squatting. And I went out there to see her a couple times when she was out there and she was homeless. And, you know, so it was personal to me. Just like the heroin epidemic and the pills, that shit didn't do anything to me. I don't have any problem with it, but it affected my mother. You know, so it's personal to me. And it's affected a lot of people that I grew up with. And just like I said, I don't even gotta like you, but to see somebody that I knew as a child or that I knew as a young teen, to see them struggling and going through something like that, when I watched my mother go through it and I know what that road is like and I know what that pain is like, you know, it breaks my heart to see them going through that, whether we were friends or not, because it's my community. You know, I grew up there. And I feel like it's a good place to raise your kids. It's a nice, there is a sense of community, but it's just not the same. It's changed over the years, and I want to see it get back to the way it was, where we can all be cool and we can all work towards a common goal, and that's bettering our community. And we can't just sit around and wait for somebody to fix it. We can't rely on the system to swoop in and fix everything for us. We got to do it. We're more powerful than the system if we work together, and that's something you just got to keep in mind. So I'm done with my...
Tracy said, I don't buy kids toys that I didn't have. I give kids knowledge that I didn't have.
Yeah, it's good.
Breaking the chains. That's
Right.
what that is. You're doing something different. You're doing something different. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for watching. Melissa said, we're all somebody's someone.
Right. And a few more things, 2 more things, and then I'll end it.
Well spoken.
So I see a lot of people that get their panties in a bunch over the Going Purple movement. And I'm not trying to pick sides or put a wedge, but a lot of people say, why now, why now, why now? And a lot of people have the misconception that the only reason people are becoming so active in the heroin and the pill epidemic is because it's a rich white kid drug. That's the furthest thing from the truth. I know firsthand plenty of people of all ethnic backgrounds, of all class, of all color, of all creed that have fallen into this. And you're not telling yourself the truth. You're being dishonest with yourself because I don't know why. You're bitter, you're angry. I don't know what the problem is. But don't complain about other people who are trying to create a solution, no matter why now, why not now. You want to know why now? Because
Why not now?
I'm going to run a scenario for you. Think back to high school, and I'm talking specifically to the people that grew up in my community. Think back to high school. How many people you knew OD'd? Count them on one hand. They probably not even enough to fill out your one hand. I only remember off the top of my head 2 people. Now, every time I get on Facebook, I see an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25 ODing, and quite a few of them dying from it. So that's why now, because people are dying. Once people start dying, it becomes more serious.
Once an issue becomes more prevalent, people take action towards that issue to take it out. We're losing more people to drug addiction than car accidents. So that's why now it's having an impact on our communities, and people are really becoming aware of that. So they're taking action on it. None. I didn't know of any overdoses when I was in school.
That's what I'm saying, and that's all you see now. That's why now, because people are dying, and I don't want that to be my child. And no matter how much you raise your kid to do the right thing, it's not foolproof.
And like Joel said, there's kids and people dying today. So why not now?
Right.
So why not now? Why not now?
And they say a closed mouth don't get fed. If you thought it was a problem years ago, you should have spoke up.
Yeah. And there's this quote that I like to use in business, but it definitely applies here too. It says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So if we didn't do this thing 20 years ago, then the next best time would be now. So that's why. Tammy said, I lost my husband in 2010 to heroin intoxication. I'm sorry to hear that, Tammy. I'm sure it still hurts as much as it did 20 years ago. Yeah.
So for anybody that isn't doing anything, Jewel will post a date. Feel free to come out to the event. It's open. There's no admission or anything. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to donate. You can just come and pull up a chair and sit there and listen and be a part of it.
Jewel, do you want to come on and say anything? Do you have anything important to say? She put the link to purchase t-shirts inside the comments. I think the cheapest is $20. You can do some alterations to the t-shirt, and some of it's additional if you want to change the name and change the color and stuff. But like you said, all the money that's being raised is going to Restoring Women's Hope.
Restoring Hope in Women.
Restoring Hope in Women. It's a nonprofit. And the link is also in the comments. I'm going to pin it once I get off of here. So you can just click the link and order your t-shirt, and it'll come right to you. We got a couple here. Joe got 2. I got one for my sister, and I got one. I'm going to get another one. And Joe just put the dates to the event in Chestertown, Maryland, if anybody is nearby. But yeah, breaking the chain starts with you. So you can be a part of the movement. You can be a part of the cause. Everybody's affected by addiction, whether it's you, a close family member. Everybody's been affected by addiction, almost everybody. So become a part of the solution. Girl, I got my pippy braids in. Okay.
And think about it, there's bigger issues going on, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us are upset at the judicial system. A lot of us are upset at the government. A lot of us are upset at big pharmaceutical industry. If we can't even get this ground floor shit right, we're never going to be able to do anything about that.
Yeah.
So let's practice. If we want to make bigger changes, let's start with something small, and we can build up our arms. There's people that we can use for a bigger movement later on in life that are dying and being wasted away because nobody's trying to help them. And I know ultimately they have to help themselves. But if they see, a lot of people think nobody cares. If they see so many people care and they got a good support system, They can beat it and they can become productive citizens and they can get their life back, and it's that ripple effect. They can be better for their children. Their children might not choose to use drugs because they see what their parent went through, and then now they have their parent back in their life. It's so much deeper than people think.
Yeah.
You know, these people out here are more than just junkies. You know what I'm saying? They're more than just people begging for money.
Tammy said yes, so true.
The guy you see on the corner with the beer in a paper bag, he's more than a drunk. You know, you never know what that guy could have been in life. You never know what he can still be in life if you help, if you do something to help.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you come, I know I just said it affects all classes and colors, it's true. But if you come from lower class, you know it hits us harder. It affects us a lot harder. So why wouldn't we want to help our own people?
Yeah.
They're not going to help us. So why don't we want to help our own people? We can't just stand there, you know, looking up, waiting for somebody at the top of the ladder to come down and help us, because they're not going to, or they would have done it already.
Yeah.
We need to do it.
And we can do it. Collectively, we can move mountains, literally. It doesn't take a lot when everybody comes together, you know? It doesn't take a lot. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes a lot of will and desire to make an impact. So, absolutely. So, here's our t-shirts. Breaking the Chains starts with you. Breaking the Chains is a movement. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the cause. Amy said, we all deserve an abundant journey of life. I love that.
Absolutely.
We all deserve an abundant journey of life. Absolutely. I love that. 100%.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for sitting here and listening to me go on about it. And, you know, you already know what to do if you're interested, if you're local, you know, from Kenner, Queen Anne's County or Carolina or wherever, and you want to come out, feel free. Jewel put the date in there. If you want a t-shirt, feel free. Jewel's got the link in there.
I said I was going to take we were going to take pictures.
They just ran an ad for us too. The company that made the t-shirts, they sponsored us in an ad. So we're on their page too. Jewel put it up there. You know, if you want to start your own, we're not, you know, it's not a pissing contest. You know, I encourage all y'all to start your own. If you want to start your own, and you know, you want to raise money and help some recovery house that's local to you, she'll put the link in there. You'll see the t-shirt company. You can reach out to them and start your own movement. There's plenty to go around. You know, let's spread it.
Yeah.
Get active.
It's awesome. Super excited. Thank you guys for watching so much. Thank you, Jewel, for sending over the comments and stuff. Thank you for everybody who's in the groups that's interacting. Yes, Contagious Creations, who created the t-shirts.
Yeah.
They have been amazing. Absolutely. So we're going to take some pictures, Jewel, and we'll send them to you so that you can post them and stuff. Anybody wants t-shirts, the link is pinned in the comments. Don't forget to get down there and get you some shirts. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.